Yeah, well, I can't speak for the other guys, but for me, my familiarity and comfort with Coach Van Gorder's system and the expectations for what he has for, the linebackers, which is what I'm coaching now. So that makes it nice, great continuity now. And, I can anticipate what he's looking for, what he wants. And so my meetings with those guys, I can be much more informative and detailed with them instead of wondering, is this exactly how he wants it, coached or taught. So that's been great for me. And for the other guys, I imagine it's the same. But for me, I can speak on that. And it's been really good. Yeah, well, we have 3 really good football players there right now with Greer and Asmar and Tavon. Greer being the elder statesman, so he's got a really good comfort level with that position. And we're moving him around. He's played Sam, he's played Mike, he plays in our base or sub-package dime. He's all over the place because he's an excellent football player and very instinctive. And production-wise, he's one of our top producing linebackers. So we're trying to find ways to get him on the field. I would think that's very challenging to do in a film session. You have to spend time with them and maybe watch film with them and see what they know and see. I mean, you can see on film whether a kid's instinctive, but you really can't tell how well he learns until you spend time with him. And so, if I'm understanding your question, off of film, can you see a kid's FBI?
Yeah.
I don't believe you can 100% get that right, but after spending time with them, you can put the film with spending time with them and put them through a series of questions and tests and see their knowledge, then I think you can. Well, I met with him today. He's doing a really nice job. I told him, it's very challenging to play that position, and it's very easy to get discouraged. And he's got such great character, and I don't see him getting discouraged, but he wants to do the right thing, but he just can't always do it. So that's what's challenging for those guys. But he's learning really well. He's doing a nice job. Yeah, very good progress with him. Yeah, I think that we've dumped a ton of resources into that. I think it's been a priority for us from the moment Coach Kelly asked me to take over the recruiting. It was the #1 objective. We have a brand, and we want to get our brand out there. There's misconceptions of the brand, and we want to change people's conception of the brand. So we have a tremendous amount of resources going into our media, social media. We've hired a social media director, and she's done a great job. And the coaches have done a better job of interacting on social media with players, whether it's either a direct message or now being able to follow them and favorite and like what they're doing. So social media is huge in college football. There's a lot of things that are positive with the brand. Things that negativity, that we get out there is like soft at times, not necessarily a tough brand. So we want to do things that put that out there, that we are a tough physical football team. We're a tough physical program. So we'll show things on our social media that help display that rather than, a lot of times when you think of intellectual academic programs, you're not thinking of aggressive, physical, strong built, strong, so that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, it's a very fluid situation like any depth chart. Asmar has tremendous amount of ability, so we're trying to, he's behind in his development. Greer's taking a ton of reps, and Greer's bouncing around from other positions also. So, he takes Sam reps, he takes Mike reps, he takes Will reps, he takes dime reps. So Greer's bouncing all over the place. It allows us to train Asmar, and Tavon's doing a nice job as well. So the trotting Asmar out there with the ones, it's not 100%. We do it with each one of the guys. Like Tavon took some 1 reps today. Greer takes 1 reps. So we just bounce it around.
Okay.
Maybe it's just media was there on the days that it was Asmar's chance and time. I think that the one guy in our room that's done a great job with leadership is James Onawalu. James is a champion. He does everything right. He works his butt off, and he took charge this summer. And I think that was a big piece to it with all the guys. I think we're gonna have a very good linebacking core, and I think James has done a nice job of getting the guys, all working very hard, and that's the key piece, is that they're working hard. Well, I don't know that I can define that. I think that I think there's expectations for him, and that's to be the most dominant middle linebacker in the country, and he has that expectation as well, and that's how he's been practicing. Yeah, I think the fruits of our labor are paying off, and I think that, recruiting is like anything else, momentum. When you start to get some great momentum, it carries over to the other classes. So, I think it's a combination of a couple things. Josh is doing good. He's taking a lot of reps right now with the 2 middle linebacker and the 2 Mike linebacker. He's he's not consistent enough right now. You need to see consistency. He's got to work on his fundamentals. His footwork's sloppy, technique is sloppy. But he's making progress. So he's a guy that, one thing about him is he finds a way to get to the ball. He doesn't stay blocked. He uses his hands well. The way he travels there is a little awkward at times, his footwork and movements, so we got to really clean that up. But Josh has the ability to get to the football, so I like that about him. So every first-time visitor here goes through what we call distinctions. When they walk on our campus, they're going to know what we're about. Before they walk off, they're going to know what we're different, how we're different than everybody else in the country, and then they can make that decision if they want that or not. Before, guys were walking off and they didn't know what. We were trying to be something we weren't. We were trying to be like the other schools, and that didn't serve our purpose. Now kids get it. I do. I have a serious point of view on that. I think that the NCAA needs to speed up the recruiting calendar. Okay. I think that one of the most compromising positions we're in is in spring recruiting, when they say you can go into the school and do an evaluation, and you can't talk to the kid, you can't see the kid, you can't spend time with the kid, you can't spend time with the parents, and then by July the kids have made their decision, and theoretically, unless they've come on your campus, you haven't met with them, haven't met the parents. It's really a very challenging situation. So I think they need to reboot the whole recruiting calendar and speed it up, and early signing period, opportunity to official visit earlier. Yeah, well, if you compare it to last year, we had the best player in the country, and now we don't have that, but we have a bunch of guys that are trying to be that work their tail off, and they're tough as nails and very competitive, and I think that we'll be better as a whole because of that. Well, the game speed from high school to college is completely different, and part of that is having the proper keys, being able to react quicker. Like Asmar struggles at times with reaction time, because I'm not sure what he's seeing. He's not seeing what he needs to see. But when he reacts, he's gone and he's fast. But his reaction time is a little delayed. So, it's challenging because the speed of the game, the tackle's faster, the running back's faster, the guard's faster. So he has to get their key faster. And so the reaction time is critical. Toughness, aggressiveness, pad level. They're used to running around blocks. You can't run around blocks. It's not one-man football in college. You got to fit your gap. You got to fit your responsibility. Corner's got to be there. Will linebacker's got to be there, and then the safety's got to be the fill player. So there's a responsibility that they have to fulfill, that they're used to just running around blocks. So that's another piece of it. And, the keys are critical. The aggressiveness, pad level, fundamentals, technique, all that stuff is key. We do it all, and we can go from 4 down to 3 down with our 4 down. So that's the neat thing. So I like that flexibility. I don't have one favored over the other, because the 3 down gives you the flexibility. Our 4 down allows us that flexibility. It's not always what we do, but I think in order to all the different type of offenses you see, you have to have that kind of flexibility.